your acting career has spanned 3 decades, and you've become so involved in activism and humanitarian efforts. How do you use this work and your platform to advocate for others?
Well, I appreciate the question, and when I decided, well, first of all, I understand that Elon sends quite a few graduates to the Peace Corps. Excuse me. And I wanted to join the Peace Corps, and I signed up, and I was being sent to Francophile Africa because I speak French. And at the last minute, I stopped calling my recruiter back because I had this equal impulse to give acting a try. And I also had this feeling that acting might be a younger woman's game, and that if I went to Africa, I might never come home. And so I switched gears, decided to go to Hollywood to try acting, because I thought if it didn't work out, I always could go back to the Peace Corps and go back to graduate school for my anthropology degree and all the things that I, dreamt of in terms of an academic career. And when I was preparing to drive to Hollywood with my little U-Haul truck that had white shoe polish on it, said Cecil B. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. A family friend said, well, what are you going to do when you get there? And I said, well, I'm going to go to Planned Parenthood and help escort people in who need sexual wellness care. And I'm going to, and I started rattling off all these social justice activities. And he said, well, are you going to act or to save the world? And so I've always had a deep desire to do both. And what I've learned over the years, Miranda, is that it's not a binary, it's not an either or. And that in this life, we really can do multiple things. Maybe not all at the same time, which I learned from Secretary of State Madeleine Albright. We can have it all, just not at the same time. And I'm so grateful the way that my higher power has designed and woven my life, that I had the privilege of this acting career, and I also had the honor and privilege of so many organizations like Population Services International, the United Nations Agency for Sexual and Reproductive Health, for whom I serve as Goodwill Ambassador, putting their trust and confidence in me, sending me to 22 countries around the world, where I've spent time in brothels, in HIV/AIDS hospices, in drop-in centers, on the streets, working with vulnerable girls and women about male sexual violence, and it's just been the journey of a lifetime, and I absolutely love my life.
Absolutely, thank you. So this generation of students spent a majority of its formative years in the Me Too movement, understanding how to report instances of sexual harassment. What does it mean for you to be speaking to college students tonight and their families? What do you hope they take away from your talk?
Yes. It means so much to me to be here, and I'm very thankful that Elon University invited me. And I was just visiting the Me Too movement website this afternoon, being reminded of how powerful a tool it is. And on the homepage it says, I'm here for myself, I want to share my story, I want self-guided resources, I'm under 18, I need legal assistance. It's such a powerful tool. And there's also a banner for, I'm here for someone else. I suspect someone I know has been sexually assaulted. I know someone who's been sexually assaulted, and by the way, you do. To be in community and share about the commonplace reality of male sexual violence, and how both girls and women can find agency and heal, and how boys and men, this is their issue. This is their problem. And we're going to talk a lot about bystanders tonight, and how both boys and men cannot be so rapey, and also how male bystanders can intervene with each other to absolutely change the trajectory of harassment and assault before it happens.
Absolutely. So you've also spoken a lot about how everyone handles grief differently. And I read your New York Times op-ed on press coverage of your mother's suicide. Can you talk a little bit about the significance of that essay for you?
Yes, thank you for reading my op-ed in the New York Times. Death by suicide pictures should not be published. And the details in death by suicide should not be for public consumption. And state laws need to be changed in order to protect the privacy of the police report that is gathered and taken at the scene of death by suicide. It serves no public good. It serves as a contagion for those who are vulnerable to suicidality. And this is documented by the great Dr. Madeline Gould, who is the world's leading expert on suicidality and its contagiousness, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. The data and the evidence are there. And our laws need to catch up with this. And the way that families are so bereaved and traumatized in death by suicide is compounded when it becomes a public event. And there's no need for it in multiple ways. And it's been very, affirming to have the public so with us and to be so appalled at certain media outlets actually printing the coroner's report, pictures of my mother's death by suicide, the contents of the note that she left, which was her disease talking, not her mother's heart. It's good to know that people are with us.
Thank you for that. So your talk tonight is titled Mental Health, What We Do Not Transform in Ourselves, We Will Transfer to Others. Taking what you've learned throughout your own life, through your experiences, what advice can you give to students who might be struggling with their own mental health struggles?
Yeah, so that's a rich topic. That's a rich vein to mine. And, you know, self-care isn't selfish, it is self-esteem. And in order to be of service to other people, which I know is something that's so important to the students at Elon, you know, the desire to be of service, the desire to be a good global citizen, to put knowledge into practice, I first have to take care of myself because I can't transmit what I don't have. And there's a certain arrogance in thinking I can go be useful to someone if my own house isn't in order. And so I learned that the hard way because I got really involved with, international poverty alleviation and sex trafficking and systems of prostitution with very good intentions and a head full of knowledge, but I wasn't in real recovery yet. And so I still had a lot of my own sexual trauma from childhood and adulthood to heal from. And I was able to make a contribution and do good work, but it also, it made me sick at times. You know, I would leave a brothel and I would go home and I would vomit and have diarrhea. Or I came back from the Congo for the first time and I was flat on my back for 3 months, completely paralyzed. And now my transitions are easy and smooth and I just am more fluid in the work because we uncover, discover, and discard, you know, and we can compost things more and metabolize things more efficiently when we have a robust spiritual practice and we're in our own recovery. And the world is still terrifying and terrorizing, and there's the up with which we should not put, but we have to learn how to take care of ourselves first in order to be of maximum service to God and our fellows.
Absolutely. And just to close, is there anything else that you'd like to add before your talk tonight?
Oh, I just so appreciate y'all showing up. You know, we can pretend to care and we can't pretend to show up. And I don't write out my talks. I have a kind of an outline and I speak extemporaneously. And I think tonight we're going to be challenged and very uncomfortable at times, and we're going to talk directly about things that are very awkward, and we're also going to talk about solutions because it's abusive to point out problems without highlighting solutions. And we're going to be in community and fellowship and talk about mercy and grace and how to hold complexity and navigate difference and celebrate hope and celebrate hope. But we're going to stir the pot a little bit too.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be speaking with you, and we're looking forward to the talk tonight.